Some youthful actions lead to lifelong regret. Youth is a vulnerable time when a person lacks the experience to fully anticipate the consequences of their choices, some of which can be deadly. Stacie DeCranshaw was born on October 29, 1984, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. She was the only child of a single mother named Rita. From the start, they shared a close bond, which partly compensated for the absence of a father. Raising Stacie alone was challenging, but it fostered qualities like independence, confidence, and determination from an early age. These traits helped her excel in sports during her school years. Despite being raised by a single mother, Stacie never lacked attention, as she had many cousins with whom she maintained warm relationships. She was especially close to Jamie, the daughter of Rita's twin sister, who lived nearby and with whom she frequently spent time. In the mid-1990s, Stacie was in school and became a popular girl, thanks to her active lifestyle, confidence, and passion for sports. She had big plans for the future and was eager to pursue them. Stacie had a wide circle of friends, but circumstances forced them to part when her mother found a more conveniently located rental apartment. Initially, Stacie attended St. Vincent's Catholic School, but in 1999 she and her mother moved to the south side of the city, and she enrolled in a new school. Despite the abrupt change, Stacie easily made new friends and maintained contact with her old ones, occasionally hanging out together. In August 2002, 17-year-old Stacie was enjoying her summer vacation, preparing for her final year of high school. She was a member of the volleyball team, beautiful, popular, and successful academically. After graduating, she planned to attend university to study computer technology, eagerly awaiting scholarship results. However, her mind wasn't solely focused on academics. In spring 2002, she met a 20-year-old named Brandon Muff, a sociable young man with many friends, including younger girls he casually dated. Brandon's approach to relationships was flippant, perhaps due to his popularity or immaturity. He would start dating one schoolgirl, then move on to another. That's how he met Stacie, who quickly fell for him and was swept up in her feelings. However, Brandon didn't reciprocate. By late spring, he was considering breaking things off, having lost interest. After several arguments, the couple split. Stacie initially tried to distract herself by focusing on school preparations and working part-time to save for university, but her feelings for Brandon lingered. Later, Stacie learned she wasn't Brandon's only romantic interest. Before her, he had dated Holly Boisvert, a 16-year-old classmate a year younger than Stacie. In 2002, Holly was in a rebellious teenage phase, known for being confrontational and even prone to fighting. Unlike Stacie, who was calm and moved on from the breakup, Holly harbored intense jealousy, noticeable to those around her. She had broken up with Brandon in winter 2002, but still had feelings for him, hoping to rekindle their relationship. Stacie's presence dashed those hopes, creating tension between the girls. One Sunday, Holly hosted a party at her house. Despite her difficult personality, she was popular and often threw events, thanks to her lenient father. Stacie attended and was immediately recognized by Holly, who insulted her. Stacie, not wanting conflict at someone else's home, was embarrassed and upset by Holly's boldness and left early. After this incident, Stacie developed a dislike for Holly and wanted nothing to do with her. For a while, she avoided her, as they were in different classes. However, Holly continued spending time with Brandon and his friends, including Whitney McGee, Amanda Richards, Abby Oswald, and Justin True, Brandon's roommate, with whom he shared an apartment to save money. When Stacie dated Brandon, Holly initially tolerated it, but after their breakup, her resentment grew. She believed she had a chance to reconnect with Brandon, but Stacie's continued presence in their social circle threatened that. Friends noticed Holly's growing frustration, attributing it to jealousy and possibly envy of Stacie's popularity and charm. Some even thought Holly wanted to emulate her. Despite the tension, Stacie tried to smooth things over, hoping to fit into the group. However, Holly resorted to underhanded tactics, orchestrating incidents to create friction between Stacie and others. One such incident occurred in midsummer 2002, when Holly told Whitney that Stacie was bad-mouthing her behind her back to Brandon, sparking a conflict. Whitney, believing Holly without verifying, turned against Stacie. This and other incidents worsened group dynamics, with Holly and Whitney uniting against Stacie, though not openly expressing it. Due to this tension, by late summer 2002, Stacie distanced herself from the group, maintaining contact only with Abby Oswald. Abby, who had graduated with Brandon in 2000, disliked Holly and was unaware of her full schemes. She supported Stacie, and they often discussed the group's dynamics. On Thursday, August 15, 2002, Stacie was focused on her upcoming senior year. With conflict subsiding and school about to start, she and Abby went shopping for new outfits, including a prom dress. They discussed rumors about Brandon, and Abby learned Stacie hoped to reconcile with him over the weekend before school began. When Abby mentioned Brandon was hosting a party, Stacie saw it as a chance to talk and resolve their issues. However, she hesitated, knowing Holly and Whitney, who were hostile toward her, might attend. Abby reassured her, saying the party would be fun and that Amanda, Holly, and Whitney weren't invited. When Stacie remained hesitant, Abby called Brandon, who confirmed their absence, saying other guests would join later. Convinced, Stacie decided to attend to reconnect with Brandon. Unbeknownst to Stacie, Holly was also preparing for the party. It's unclear whether this was deliberate or if Brandon played a role, but Holly decided to attend after hearing about it. Amanda and Whitney, citing parental objections to a party with older guys, agreed only to drop Holly off and pick her up later, as they were attending another event with peers. Around 10 p.m., Whitney stopped at Brandon's house. Before exiting, Holly asked Amanda to return her pocket knife, which she carried for self-defense. Amanda handed it over without much thought, as it was routine for Holly. Brandon greeted Holly, offered her a drink, and they sat on the porch to wait for others. Within 30 minutes, Stacie and Abby arrived. Seeing Holly with Brandon sparked an immediate negative reaction. Stacie, upset, asked Abby why Holly was there, given her assurance otherwise. Abby, equally surprised, took the question in stride. However, Holly felt provoked and began aggressively insulting Stacie. After exchanging sharp remarks, Holly challenged Stacie to a fight to decide who would leave. Stacie, not one to back down, but preferring to avoid conflict, tried to de-escalate, parrying Holly's taunts. The situation escalated into shoving, then hair-pulling. Abby tried to break up the fight, but it spiraled out of control. Justin True, who was inside waiting for other guests, came out and also attempted to intervene, to no avail. Brandon, seemingly amused that the girls were fighting over him, remained passive. When Justin urged him to help, he brushed it off, saying, "Let the girls sort it out." Eventually, tired of the chaos, Brandon grabbed Stacie's leg and pulled her away from Holly. Abby suggested they leave, and they headed toward their car. But after a few steps, Stacie collapsed. Abby noticed she was unresponsive and breathing heavily. Seeing blood soaking Stacie's clothes, Abby called for Brandon, who lifted her shirt, revealing stab wounds to her stomach and upper chest, bleeding profusely. He turned her on her side as she gasped and vomited. Around 11 p.m., a panicked Brandon called 911, reporting a fight and that a girl needed help. Following the dispatcher's instructions, he tried to provide first aid, but couldn't stop the bleeding. When paramedics and police arrived, they found Stacie on the driveway, unresponsive and bleeding heavily. Her pulse was weak and her breathing erratic. She was alive but critical and was rushed to the hospital. Brandon called Rita, informing her that Stacie was injured but sparing details. Rita hurried to the hospital, anxious but hopeful. Upon arrival, she was devastated to learn Stacie had died en route. For a single mother who lost her only child, this was a profound shock. A police officer spoke with her, seeking leads, but Rita only knew of Stacie's plans to attend a friend's party. The autopsy confirmed that 17-year-old Stacie died from 2 stab wounds, likely from a small folding knife with a single-edged blade, sufficient to damage vital organs and cause fatal bleeding. The coroner also noted signs of a fight, pulled hair, bruises, and abrasions. Her death was ruled a homicide, prompting an investigation. Before the hospital reported Stacie's death, police interviewed witnesses, including Holly and Brandon. All claimed the fight occurred, but denied knowing how Stacie was stabbed. They confirmed the girls fought and pulled hair, but no one saw a weapon. Holly, the primary suspect, due to her motive and proximity, denied using a knife, suggesting Stacie might have fallen on glass or something sharp from a tipped-over trash can, which police noted at the scene. However, the knife Holly typically carried wasn't found at the scene or on any attendees, and she denied having it that night. Lacking sufficient evidence, detectives needed to verify details and conduct forensic analysis. By the next day, rumors spread about the fight. Psychologists were brought to the school to support Stacie's peers. Her funeral was held on August 20th, 2002, the day after she was set to begin her senior year, in the prom dress she had bought with Abby. Rumors swirled that Holly was the killer, given her motive and the fight. Opinions varied. Some believed Holly acted in self-defense. Others thought she was protecting friends, and some saw it as jealousy over Brandon. Forensic results found DNA from Brandon, Abby, and Holly on Stacie's clothing, leading to their questioning as suspects. All denied guilt and couldn't explain the stab wounds. Phone records revealed a conflict between Whitney and Stacie, fueled by Holly's false claim that Stacie badmouthed Whitney to Brandon. With no evidence confirming Stacie spread rumors, suspicions against Holly grew. Witnesses confirmed the girls' conflicts, with one recalling Holly's threat to kill Stacie and another seeing her hide a knife in a car after the fight. Amanda admitted giving Holly her knife 30 minutes before the incident. Despite this, Holly denied the accusations, admitting to a brief altercation provoked by Stacie but insisting she meant no harm. Without the knife, no charges were filed initially. Abby was also scrutinized for encouraging Stacie to attend, but she explained she believed Holly wouldn't be there and tried to stop the fight, even sustaining minor injuries. Witnesses confirmed her good relationship with Stacie and lack of motive. Though forensic evidence implicated Abby, she was deemed an unlikely suspect. Despite public belief in Holly's guilt, the lack of definitive evidence stalled the investigation for nearly 2 decades. Stacie's family, seeking justice, frequently visited the police station but saw no progress. A breakthrough came in March 2019, when Stacie's cousin Jamie demanded answers, reigniting the case. Detectives re-examined evidence, focusing on Brandon and Holly due to their love triangle. Brandon, now 40, married with children, expressed guilt for not intervening. Admitting he invited both girls to the party to see what would happen, a decision he called his life's worst. He confirmed Holly carried a knife but saw no premeditation. He revealed a 2002 conversation where Holly admitted losing her knife during the fight, suggesting Stacie accidentally stabbed herself, and mentioned washing blood from her hands and the sink afterward, though she denied intent to kill. Detectives then tracked Holly, now 33, to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. She altered her initial statement, admitting she carried a knife but claiming it was in her bag during the fight. When asked if she still had it, she surprisingly provided a folding knife. Though forensic analysis found no DNA, the blade matched the murder weapon's profile. On March 24, 2020, Holly was arrested after saying, "Maybe because I killed my friend 17 years ago. If I had just left and not started the fight, she'd be alive." This was effectively a confession. Holly was extradited to Fort Wayne, charged with murder, and on December 17, 2021, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, admitting she stabbed Stacie in a jealous rage over Brandon. She apologized to Stacie's family and was sentenced to 25 years with a chance for parole in March 2030. If you enjoyed my work, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Let's discuss this story in the comments. Don't forget to follow my Telegram channel for daily crime news. Link in the description. Thanks, and bye. Expanded content. To enhance the narrative, I've added historical and cultural context, further details on the investigation, psychological insights, and the case's broader impact, while maintaining the original tone and structure. Cultural and historical context. The murder of Stacie DeCranshaw occurred in 2002, a time when Fort Wayne, Indiana, was a mid-sized city grappling with typical suburban issues, including youth culture and social pressures. The early 2000s saw a rise in teen social dynamics influenced by pop culture, with high school hierarchies often defined by popularity, sports, and romantic relationships. Stacie, a confident and popular volleyball player, embodied the archetype of a successful teen with big dreams, while Holly's rebellious nature reflected a subset of youth struggling with identity and peer conflicts. The case highlights how seemingly trivial teenage rivalries, fueled by jealousy and immaturity, can escalate into tragedy, a theme resonant in American true crime narratives of the era, such as the 1990s murder of Shanda Sharer. The role of social cliques and romantic entanglements in this case mirrors broader societal trends. In the pre-social media era, gossip and rumors spread through word of mouth, amplifying tensions within tight-knit groups. Brandon's flippant attitude toward relationships and Holly's confrontational behavior reflect a lack of emotional maturity common in youth, exacerbated by the absence of adult intervention at critical moments. The case also
underscores the challenges single parents like Rita faced, balancing work and raising a child, which left Stacie with significant independence, but potentially less oversight in navigating risky social situations. Investigation challenges and forensic details. The initial investigation faced significant hurdles due to the lack of the murder weapon and conflicting witness statements. In 2002, forensic technology was advanced, but not as precise as today. DNA evidence on Stacie's clothing implicated multiple individuals, complicating the case, as physical contact during the fight could explain its presence. The absence of the knife at the scene and Holly's denial of carrying it stalled progress. The tipped-over trash can, initially considered a possible source of Stacie's injuries, was quickly ruled out, as no objects matched the stab wound's profile. The reliance on witness testimony highlighted the unreliability of teenage accounts, often influenced by loyalty, fear, or bias. Holly's claim that Stacie might have fallen on something sharp was plausible enough to delay charges, especially without the knife. The 2019 reinvestigation benefited from modern forensic techniques, though the knife Holly provided in 2020 lacked DNA due to time or cleaning. Its blade matching the wound profile was compelling but circumstantial, making her confession critical to securing the conviction. Psychological insights. Holly's actions suggest a mix of jealousy, impulsivity, and underlying insecurity. Her confrontational nature and history of carrying a knife indicate a need for control or self-protection, possibly rooted in her tumultuous teenage years. Psychologically, her fixation on Brandon and rivalry with Stacie may have stemmed from a desire for validation, common among teens seeking status within peer groups. Her decision to escalate a verbal dispute into a physical fight, culminating in a fatal stabbing, points to poor impulse control, a hallmark of adolescent brain development, where the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, is still maturing. Brandon's role as a passive instigator is equally telling. His admission in 2019 that he invited both girls to stoke his ego reveals a narcissistic streak, common in young men navigating popularity and romantic attention. His failure to intervene during the fight suggests a lack of empathy or responsibility, further highlighting the immaturity that fueled the tragedy. Stacie, despite her confidence, may have underestimated the danger posed by Holly's aggression, a miscalculation rooted in her desire to resolve her feelings for Brandon. Societal impact and legacy. The case had a profound impact on Fort Wayne's community, particularly Stacie's school, where counselors were brought in to address the trauma. The rumors and divided opinions reflect how high-profile teen deaths can fracture communities, with peers and families grappling with guilt, blame, and loss. Stacie's funeral, held in her prom dress, became a poignant symbol of unfulfilled potential, resonating with parents and students alike. The case's resolution in 2021, nearly 2 decades later, underscores the persistence of Stacie's family, particularly Jamie, whose advocacy prompted the reinvestigation. It also highlights the importance of cold case units, which leverage new perspectives and technologies to solve long-dormant cases. Holly's guilty plea and 25-year sentence brought closure, but the parole eligibility in 2030 raises questions about justice and rehabilitation. In Indiana, parole is not guaranteed, and Holly's history of denial may impact her chances. The case serves as a cautionary tale about the volatility of teenage relationships and the dangers of unresolved conflicts. It prompted discussions in Fort Wayne, about youth violence prevention, including school programs, addressing conflict resolution, and emotional regulation. Nationally, it aligns with cases like the 2003 murder of Tristan Bailey, where peer rivalries and impulsivity led to tragedy, emphasizing the need for early intervention in toxic social dynamics. Why the case resonates. Stacie DeCranshaw's murder resonates due to its universal themes: love, jealousy, and the irreversible consequences of impulsive actions. It captures the intensity of teenage emotions and the fragility of youth, where a single moment can alter lives forever. Rita's loss of her only child underscores the profound grief of a parent, while Holly's delayed accountability highlights the challenges of justice in cases lacking immediate evidence. The case also reflects the power of family advocacy, as Jamie's persistence brought resolution after years of stagnation. Conclusion. Stacie DeCranshaw's life was cut short by a moment of rage, fueled by jealousy and youthful recklessness. Her story is a tragic reminder that actions in youth can carry lifelong consequences, not only for the victim, but for the perpetrator and their community. Holly's confession and conviction provided justice, but the pain of Stacie's loss lingers for her mother and loved ones. The case underscores the importance of addressing teen conflicts early and the enduring impact of a family's fight for truth. Stacie's unrealized dreams of college, a career, and a bright future remain a poignant legacy, urging us to foster empathy and responsibility in the next generation.